The Home Team, every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. here on the Tan Talk Radio Network and Facebook Live, The Home Team with Paul Porter. Special guests, prizes, and your phone calls about the Bucks, Lightning, Rays, USF, Sun, FSU, Florida, and more. Talk to you this Saturday at 9 a.m. right here on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
The Tampa Bay Sun have won the USL Super League Championship.
When the Super Bowl ended, the ball would be in the hands of Tom Brady. I don't know why we ever think it won't.
It's time for the Father and Son's Home Team on the Tan Talk Radio Network and Facebook Live. The Home Team is brought to you by Father and Son's Windows and Doors, locally owned and operated with offices in Tampa Bay and Orlando. Visit them on the web at faswd.com and mention the Home Team for special pricing. And now, here he is, the arena voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning and the press box voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Paul Porter.
And thank you, Pat Porter. Welcome to the Home Team. This is Jason Alessi. Paul Porter is taking this week off, but I'm happy to be joined by our good friend, and once again, Marshall O'Shields. Marshall, good morning.
Morning, Jason. You know I'm always happy to be here, but I do think we got to get you worked into bump your status up a little bit. It should be Paul Porter and Jason Alessi, because you're kind of at that level now. So I think
not even close.
I think maybe that I'm not bumping your status. I'm just saying you're here all the time. You're reliable. I just think maybe we move that in a little bit.
Well, we all play musical chairs here. We're hit and miss. I'll be out in a couple of weeks on a little vacation.
More from Pat Porter is not bad. That's all I'm saying.
No, absolutely. But hey, you know what? There's always going to be a home team here, and so we're happy to bring it to you. What a time to be a sports fan right now. This might be the best time of the year when you think about it. NFL, college football, baseball playoffs winding down, getting ready for the World Series. Hockey started. Basketball starts this upcoming week. I mean, it's all going on. This is dynamic.
I put it a second in my world because I think March, April is still better when you got like the Final Four, Masters, you got hockey and basketball winding down. For playoff. I mean, but this is a great time of year, especially with football. I mean, you don't have football in March, April, obviously, but
I'd say it's a
dead even.
In
the meat of the season with college. It's great.
It's a dead even tie between March and October for the best sports time of the year.
I think so too. I'm the same way, but I just really enjoy this time of year. There's so much to talk about. College football is just booming right now. I mean, you're right. You got everything going, Jason.
We got a lot of college. Again, we're going to get into that too, starting, with last night, a big-time shakeup with Miami going down to Louisville. So we're going to get to that. We're going to touch on the Lightning. We're going to touch on the baseball playoffs. But we're going to start with the Bucks, 5-1. Hey, they actually had a win where they didn't have to sweat it out within the last 2 minutes against San Francisco, getting a 30-19 win. And I got to tell you, right now, I know there's a lot of football left, but for the sake of the argument, the sake of the conversation, let's ask this question: are the Bucks right now, in your mind, the best team in the league?
After 6 weeks, yes. Now, will they be after the next 6 weeks? I'm not sure, because the one thing that I'm a little bit leery of is I know they sit there and they say, well, they're injured, they're beat up. Wait till they get all these guys back. Well, these guys could come back and they could go 3-3 in their next 6. That's just kind of how football is. You look at the Niners. The Niners were beat up more than the Bucks last week,
and they lost another one. Sadly, Fred Warner, their star linebacker.
I mean, they're devastated.
It's been a bad year thus far in the NFL for injuries, all across the board.
But the one thing you can't lose, I don't think, you just can't lose your franchise starting quarterback. You just can't like the Bengals have, Brock Purdy's wasn't playing for the Niners, and Mac Jones has been pretty solid. But let's face it. Baker Mayfield's been able to stay healthy, and he's definitely, even in the national media that I'm listening to, has been the MVP of the first 6 weeks without a doubt.
The guy is unbelievable. You look at not just the throws he makes, the runs. Christian, that third down run, that conversion he did to get that first down. That could change the course of the game right there. It fires everyone up.
And that's what you're looking. You can't lose a guy like that. I just the one injury that really concerns me is the Ibuka injury, because it almost seems like Mike Evans all over again. You start with that hamstring. You're only 6 weeks into the season. how good are you going to be when you
Yeah.
come back? How long is it going to last? Or like Mike, when he went out again and just slammed his helmet down, it's just got to be the most frustrating injury for a player.
Of course, with Mike Evans, he's dealt with that his entire career. Yeah. It seems like there's always issues where he's had hamstring-related injuries. He has to miss some time. I will say, though, Baker Mayfield does a great job at getting the ball to all different receivers. You think about the Johnson and Johnson connection, last week, Tez Johnson and Cam Johnson, caught several balls. You get Kate out and the tight end involved. We still haven't seen Jalen McMillan this year. He got injured in the preseason. He really made strides as a rookie last year, late in the year. So you hope to get him back. Bucky Irving, what a weapon he is. And unfortunately this week against Detroit, Bucky Irving, Chris Godwin, and Ibuka have been ruled out. Mike Evans probably will be a game-time decision, I think. He returned to practice, so we'll see if he's able to go. But monster game. Detroit's coming off a loss to Kansas City, so they're trying to get back, back on track. It's going to be a very tough game, but let me tell you something. The Bucs, they have beaten some quality opponents this year. You think about the 49ers and the Seahawks in the last two games. You look at that win, that week one win against Atlanta is crucial because you think about what Atlanta just did to Buffalo. Atlanta looks like a good team. They look like a really good team. And to have that one win against them, in your division, I think could turn out to be huge. Within the division as well, Carolina is a bit of a surprise. They've won a couple in a row. They actually beat Atlanta 30-0 in a game when they played them. So Carolina looks like a much improved football team. The only team in the NFC South that's not good is the Saints, who are in complete rebuilding mode. But outside of that, I think it's still very much open as to who could win it between the Bucs, Falcons, and even the Panthers.
So the NFL is a week-to-week league. You're saying now, let's say that the Falcons would have lost that game to Buffalo. They hadn't looked like a decent team for the last 4 weeks. Then all of a sudden they pull off one big win coming off a bye. That's why I say it's a week-to-week league. It's so hard to predict. I mean, look at the everybody thought, the Panthers, they're no good. Now all of a sudden, they get a better coach in there who comes from the Bucs, and then the next thing you know, you got a quarterback that looks like he knows what he's doing. You look in Jacksonville, Liam Cohen's turned that thing around with Trevor Lawrence having the best year he's ever had.
Might Josh Grizzard be the next? I love this. The town he comes from, Lizard Lick, North Carolina.
You just don't know.
Yeah.
But another thing about the quarterbacks going down, look at the two teams. Look what's happened to Cincinnati and look what's happened to the Ravens. The Ravens can't beat anybody once Lamar Jackson went down. I've never seen a team so reliant on one guy.
But let me tell you,
they just can't get it done.
With Cincinnati, different story because Joe Flacco, the guy has still got it. And you talk about someone energizing a team that was absolutely dead.
Yep.
Okay, that game the other night, the Thursday night game against the Steelers, what a game it was. But Cincinnati, all of a sudden now, with Flacco there, has made themselves a potential playoff contender again and possibly even to win that division.
Right. Well, look what Flacco did. He was only there for 3 days the week before, and so he didn't have a lot of time. But in the second half of that game the week before, he threw a couple of touchdowns, and he looked like, he knew what he was doing. And the next thing you know, he's a really smart guy with a big arm. What do? You target Jamar Chase 20 times.
Yep.
He has 15 receptions. You try target T. Higgins 15 times. And you know what? He's getting the ball out of his hands. He's a smart guy. And I'm surprised it took the Bengals as long as it did to go out and get somebody because they found real quick that Browning wasn't their guy. But it is amazing how one quarterback change can turn your program around.
And I found it interesting how going into that game, Mike Tomlin, of course, the Steelers head coach, made the comment about Cleveland trading Flacco to Cincinnati. Kind of really getting on their case, putting it out there because obviously I think Tomlin realized even before going in, he'd rather not face a guy like Flacco.
Nope.
Because he's still good.
Still good enough to play in this
Cleveland
league.
Traded him within the division, which Tomlin wasn't too thrilled.
Let's face it, that's such a Browns thing to do. Trade a quarterback that goes somewhere else and just tears up everybody else and hurts your division. Like, no wonder they're the most loved franchise in the NFL.
You're the Browns or you're the Jets. And Matt, I know that's your team. The Jets is your team. But
don't remind me of that.
The Browns and the Jets, whatever can go wrong will go
Well,
wrong.
I'm in a
but
big.
it's a lot of it is their own doing because of the decisions they make.
So
But
if anybody
what is it?
if anybody hears loud banging during the course of this show, that's me banging my head off the board, reminding myself why I'm a Jet fan.
Well, I will say this much about the Jets. Look at it this way. They have what you could say is the most meaningful Super Bowl win in history. That Super Bowl III win over the Baltimore Colts. Joe Namath, the guarantee, all that. One of the most famous moments in sports history. The Jets have that.
And established the AFL as a legitimate threat.
Yes, it did.
Can we get the last 20 seconds of the show back? Because we didn't need that fact today. Anyway, the Jets are just terrible.
So
I don't care what they do.
The Cleveland Browns have never even been to the Super Bowl. I'm almost tempted. Should I do the Sam Weiss, the mic drop? You don't know. I won't do. I did that to Paul. I did that to Paul enough. And Cleveland fans, you don't live in Cleveland. You live in Cincinnati.
Real quick, we got a couple of Facebook watchers. We got John and David watching on Facebook. So tune into Facebook Live if you want to see our ugly mugs here.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun here in the studio.
What I do have to mention, of course, we're going to be doing the contest, the Bucks and the Lions for the Monday night game. I did win the contest, by the way. I was only 1 point off. I picked $30 to $20. They ended up winning 30-19. Of course, as one of the hosts here, I'm not eligible. Don from St. Pete. He ended up winning the contest, was just 4 points off, so he won the contest, so got the prizes.
I was wondering why there was like streamers and confetti all over the studio. That was it.
For anybody looking on Facebook, the reason why it looks so nice is because I cleaned up when right after Jason got here.
Right. Very good. But so anyway, we're going to be doing that contest there, and let's see. I hope the Bucks can keep it going. It's been very exciting. Obviously, 5-1.
I don't see it this week though.
I
think Detroit comes in here and puts their foot down. Like the last time they came in here and shut the Bucks down, and the injuries in the secondary scare me. I just think that. Detroit is a really good team, and I expect the Bucks to play well, but I think they're playing a little over their heads with all their injuries, and I think this game may catch up to them a little bit. That's just my thoughts.
The Bucks did beat Detroit in Detroit the beginning of last season, so they did get that win there. I think it's going to be one of those games that could go either way. I hear what you're saying. Detroit, especially after the Lions lost the last one to Kansas City, you can expect them to come, especially with their coach, Dan Campbell, you're going to expect them to come out with kind of a fire, playing a little bit desperate, wanting to get back on track. The Bucks, but I mean, again, the Bucks with Baker Mayfield, they're making plays. They're making plays when they have to. Again, it was nice to get a win that you didn't have to sweat it out the last couple of minutes. At least get they had a little bit more comfortable.
It's a week-to-week league. We're talking about the Bucks. They're 5-1. They could be 2-4. It's a week-to-week league and how you finish games. And this year, the difference in this team is they know how to finish games. Baker Mayfield is finishing games.
So often of time, that's what separates the good teams from the bad. It's a very
that's why the
margin.
NFL is so close like that.
Teams, because when you look at a lot of the teams with bad records, if you look at the majority of the games, they were very close. They could have gone either way. Well, let me tell you something. Following the Bucks for so long, many of the Bucks teams that were either 3-13 or 5-11 or all those years, the majority of the games were right there for the Bucks to win. Yep. There were a few that were
especially
blowouts,
the last couple of years when they won the division at 9-8 and 8-9.
Sure,
they were right. They could have easily won 12 or 13. It just sings at the end of games.
But back in the day when they were horrible, year in and year out, so many of the games were still very close, especially early in the season, that could have been wins. But again, that's what separates the good from the bad. The good teams find ways to win those games. The bad teams don't find ways to lose them.
That's what I'm saying is that the NFL is a week to week and all the games are tough and close. And that's why it's so hard to pick games in this league, because 1 week you got to buy, you come off like the Falcons. Who thought the Falcons would come out and manhandle the Bills?
Yeah.
And they didn't just beat them, they manhandled them.
Excuse me, and that was the Bills team coming off a loss to the Patriots. If anything, you think, well, Buffalo, that loss woke them up, and now they'll come back and play very well.
Yeah,
so Atlanta did manhandle them.
Who thought the Bengals would go into Pittsburgh and, be able to light up the Steelers like they did, even though Mike Tomlin was ready, they were ready, but the Bengals just played better. It's a week-to-week league.
I like how they nicknamed that the Icy Hot Bowl.
That was great, the Icy Hot Bowl. 10 yards rushing either way for either quarterback was the line.
Yeah. Rodgers being 41 and Flacco being 40 going in. But, hey, listen, they still got – both of them still have it.
But it shows you how important that position is and how hard it is to play that position.
Yeah.
You got two guys in their 40s playing because you can't find guys that can play at that level.
Exactly.
Bottom line.
Bingo. We're going to get to the. I'll tell you what. We're going to get that after the break. Thank you, Matt, for letting me know. We're going to hit a break right now. Give out the numbers. Please call in the phone numbers. Area code 727-441-3000. That's 727-441-3000. Please give us a call in. And we'll be back right after this. This is Jason Alessi and Marshall O'Shields on the Father and Sons Windows and Doors Home Team on the TAN Talk Radio Network, AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1 and 102.3, and Facebook
Live.
This is the TAN Talk Radio Network.
For the first time ever, the Home Team is endorsing a place for all of you fishermen. And the winner is Betts Fishing Center on Starkey Road, just a half mile south of Ulmerton Road in Largo. Betts, that's Betts, is open 7 days a week from 9 to 6 Monday through Saturday and 9 to 4 on Sunday. Everything you need from clothing to AFCO and skinny water culture to Shimano and Daiwa reels. They also do repair of your equipment. Betts Fishing Center on Starkey Road, just a half mile south of Ulmerton in Largo, and online at customfishing.com.
If your home is in need of new windows or doors, look no further than Father and Son Windows and Doors, the title sponsor of the Home Team. Right now, for all Home Team listeners, Father and Son Windows and Doors is offering interest-free financing for 12 months with nothing down. That's right, nothing down. You can get your project done now and not pay any interest for 12 months without putting anything down. We trust Father and Son Windows and Doors at the Home Team. In fact, I'm one of their customers, and you can too. Expert sales and service, top-of-the-line products, and a company that stands by what they sell. For all of your window and door needs, it's Father and Son Windows and Doors. Visit them on the web at faswd.com. Father and Son Windows and Doors, faswd.com. That's faswd.com. Thank you to each and every one of you that helped out with Purple Passion. Together, we raised over $13,000, and we couldn't have done it without you. From donations to your attendance to your bidding, we all pulled it through together, and I couldn't thank you enough. If you were unable to attend Purple Passion, you can still help by sending a check to Post Office Box 4979, Tampa, Florida, 33677. That's Post Office Box 4979, Tampa, Florida, 33677. Please make your check out to Reach Out, Speak Out, and all donations are completely tax deductible. Thank you again for helping out with Reach Out, Speak Out as we help victims of domestic violence and their families.
Life Builders Christian Counseling Center brings hurting people to wholeness in Christ. Life Builders is a professional counseling center with multiple counselors and locations in Brandon and Tampa. They offer in-person, Zoom, and group sessions, counseling individuals, married couples, children and adolescents, and families. Some of our licensed counselors take most insurances. Call 813-438-5949 or visit lifebuilderscounseling.org. Life Builders can help. 813-438-5949 and at lifebuilderscounseling.org.
Hi, everyone. I'm Paul Porter, voice of the Lightning and host of the Home Team Sports Radio Show. I'm here to tell you about our educational home team, Cambridge Christian School. No longer Tampa Bay's best-kept secret, CCS is the perfect blend of academic rigor and a biblical worldview foundation, serving families for over 60 years. Come see why we are the #1 rated Christian school in Tampa and visit us at ccslancers.com.
Family owned and operated, T&D Golf on West Waters Avenue in Tampa is the place to find everything you need for your golfing experience at affordable prices. Club repair is available as well. As a longtime sponsor of the Home Team, T&D wants to make sure you get the very best quality at a price you can afford. Open at 4205 West Waters Avenue, half mile west of Northdale, Mabry, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. T&D Golf, making golf affordable.
My favorite restaurant in all of Tampa Bay is J. Alexander's at the corner of Dale, Mabry, and Cypress, just south of I-275 in Tampa. The prime rib is to die for. Steaks are just as mouthwatering, and that's not all. Seafood like salmon, ahi tuna, shrimp, or crab cakes. Don't forget the salads and appetizers like my favorite French onion soup, and top it all off with a homemade dessert. J. Alexander's in Tampa at Dale, Mabry, and Cypress, just south of 275. Open 7 days, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Reservations suggested but not necessary.
The Florida State Fairgrounds is home to so much more than just the fair that runs every February. Concerts, trade shows, conferences, and competitions are all just a few of the things you'll find at the Florida State Fairgrounds and Mid-Florida Credit Union Amphitheater all year long. For the very latest information and schedules, visit floridastatefair.com. The Florida State Fair and so much more, all happening at the Florida State Fairgrounds and Mid-Florida Credit Union Amphitheater. We'll see you at the Florida State Fairgrounds.
Now let's get back to the home team with the arena voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning and press box voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Paul Porter.
And welcome back to the home team. This is Jason Alessi, joined with Marshall O'Shields today. And let's switch over here. We're going to get to the college football in a moment, but the Tampa Bay Lightning, not the start that I think they had hoped for after 5 games. They're 1-2-2. Of course, the last 2 games did go into, they were overtime losses, so they picked up a point there. But I don't know, Marshall, a little inconsistent is the word I would use. I know the first couple of games, they scored several goals, but gave up a lot of goals. Last couple of games, Vasilevsky seems to be on target, not giving up that much, but they struggled to score some. What's your take on what we've seen out of the Lightning thus far?
Well, the first thing I'll say is that I think Vazzy has been really, really good. I think the way this team has played, they could be winless if it wasn't for him. He keeps them in games. He's still doing what he does. Other teams seems to get more odd man rushes than we do, obviously. But from what I've seen from watching, we just got old on the back end. Victor Hedman looks slow.
Yeah.
Ryan McDonough, it doesn't have the same pace that he used to have. Chernak has lost. They just look slow.
Right.
Mosier's helping. They've got some new infusion of some younger guys. But the thing that's really killing them, and I'd love to sit down with Phil Esposito and ask him about this, and I'd love to listen to him talk about it, but they can't win a faceoff to save their life.
Yeah.
They're terrible at faceoffs. And I don't know if it's want to, it's will, it's reaction, but somehow you got to find a way to get better at it because they are terrible. The game they lost in overtime, not last night, but the other night, they lost the faceoff in overtime and never touched the puck.
Right.
The game was over.
Right.
Now, and I would say this about the overtime. Like John Cooper said, it was great. John Cooper's quote was, the overtime 3-on-3 overtime was great until the coaches got a hold of it and ruined it like we mess up everything else. And when I watch the overtimes now, it's not nearly as exciting because everybody's afraid to make a mistake. So my proposal would be once you take the puck in the zone, you're not allowed to carry it out. Because that's the one I can't stand is when they're skating all around in circles, and then all of a sudden they decide to carry it out and get a fresh guy on the ice and come back and attack, and you're just going around, you're spinning around in circles. Once you carry it in, you got to attempt to take a shot or you got to do something because to me, it's boring now in overtime. Everybody's just waiting, trying not to make a mistake.
I'm going to be honest. I might be in the minority here, but I'm a fan of the old overtime rules. I'm a fan of the regular 5-on-5 overtime. And also I'm not opposed to the game ending in a tie. Like don't even have the shootout if it's still tied after overtime. I don't have a problem with the game ending in a tie.
So I can see what you're saying, but I would say you'd probably go 5-on-5 for 10 minutes. And if nobody scores, then that's it. I don't think you could play a full another period because during the course of an 82-game season, you're probably talking about 5, 6, 7 extra games, and that's too long. And that's why they'll never do it. That's why they went to the 3-on-3 in the shootout because they can't play regular 5-on-5. It's too much. It's too long. It's too long of a season.
Well, but they used to do 5-on-5 for 5 minutes.
Right, but they got rid of it because they thought it was too grinding on the players. That's what I'm saying. You add that up over time. You go into so many overtimes, and that's all I'm saying is that this is quicker. It's shorter. Not as many guys are playing.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, I agree with you. If it ends in a tie, they still have it if it ends in a tie, except for the shootout. Now you go to the shootout.
Right.
Well, somebody else had made a suggestion online, and I want the opinion of you two and anybody else listening as well. You can call in at 727-441-3000. But somebody had suggested go 4-on-4 for 10 minutes. If that doesn't work, 5 minutes 3-on-3. That doesn't work. 5 minutes of 2-on-2.
That's too much. Well, I mean, all in overtime.
Yeah,
that's too much. That's how long would that add to the
That's another
to the
period.
play?
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. That's another.
No, I know. I don't.
Because
I
the
don't like that at
idea
all.
of the 3-minute overtime is to cut things down. You're trying.
Well, that's-
you're trying
the
not
three-
to
the
play.
that's why they went
yeah.
to 3-on-3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But overtime wasn't a thing in the NHL until the 80s.
Well, I mean, look, all the sports have done it. Look at baseball. I mean, baseball puts a guy on second in the 10th inning. You know, which we
that all
thought
started-
was unheard of.
That
but-
all started because of the COVID year.
Right, but I'm just saying it's to
It's to
finish
finish it.
games
Although
and save pitching.
I'll tell you the one that I really the overtime does, and I'm changing subject again, but college football, I don't like their overtime rule at all. Where the team, you start on your opponent's 25-yard line. If you have a halfway decent kicker, you could gain absolutely no yard. You could even lose yards, and you'll still kick a field goal. And then we see so oftentimes that overtime, which probably was intended to be short, goes on forever.
I think the one thing we're missing here, though, is that when you extend the games, you extend the fact that the players are tired,
Yes.
and you increase the chance for injury.
I agree.
And that's one of the reasons I think that they've looked for ways to cut things down because of that factor right there.
But yet in the NFL, they added the rule. They were so hell-bent on wanting both teams to touch the ball that they made it where it's the other team's going to get a shot no matter what. Well, you know what?
Not no matter what. If they score a touchdown, it's over. You don't get another shot.
No, not anymore.
They
in
changed
overtime,
that?
if the team that touches the ball first scores a touchdown, the other team still gets
a chance
to do something with it.
I didn't think that was a thing. I thought it was you score a touchdown, game's over. You kick a field goal.
Until this year. They
Okay.
change it now. Where
Okay.
even if the first team that gets it first scores a touchdown, the other team's still going to get the ball with a chance to go back and either score a touchdown to extend it, or maybe sometimes in that case, the team, if they score a touchdown, they'll go for 2 to probably try to win it.
Yeah,
But the point is,
that's a stupid rule.
But see, that in and of itself extends the NFL overtime.
Yeah, I agree with
Where
that. And that's what they're trying not to do.
So if you're worried about injury, well, okay, you can't have it both ways.
But wasn't that unofficially the Buffalo Bills rule?
Yeah, well, that playoff game, great playoff game with Kansas City and Buffalo, the divisional round, when it went back and forth, but in overtime, Buffalo never touched the ball. But hey, I've always said, you want to get the ball back, play defense.
Yep.
That's that's the way it goes sometimes. But back to the Lightning again. Now, what concerns me though, something you said about the players getting older. And there's really nothing you could do about that. That's something that if that's the case, if these guys are past their prime, how is that going to get better as the season goes along?
They can't
I don't think it will.
because they sold their soul the last couple of years and traded draft picks and everything else, and they went for it. Well, now you're seeing the repercussions of losing higher draft picks for these guys that they went out and got, like Getzel and some of these other guys that they went out and got. Tanner Janot.
Getzel's still young.
No. But what I'm saying is you traded away
a
lot of picks. So your farm system is not as good as it was. So the guys you're calling up are not top quality players. And that's where they're suffering. You trade away those top picks. And eventually, a couple of years down the road, I mean, I honestly think this is it for the Lightning. No run this year, and you got to blow it up. You can't have guys making
past their prime
10, 11, 12 billion like Victor Hedman, Kucherov,
who don't have it anymore.
Point, Hagel, all these guys are making a fortune now. And you just don't, and you're not producing, you're not winning, you're not getting out of your division, you're not beating the Panthers. They're going to have to make some changes.
Well, that's what, a lot of people were critical at first of the Stamkos trade last year. But again, this is the point of view you're saying. If players are on the downside of their career, you need to do something like that.
That was one of the best trades they ever made. Yeah. I've been a proponent for a long time.
You got Jake Gensel. Jake Gensel had a great year. Yep. He's a great player.
But they should have traded Kucherov last year when I said they now his value is going to diminish every year that you keep playing him. I mean, he's still a great player, but let's face it. If you're going to rebuild, you got to make some moves.
Yeah. Well, it is still early. I mean, hockey season just started. So, I mean, you certainly don't want to hit the panic button, but it's just a little bit of a disappointing start for the Lightning. So hopefully they'll stay. I think the Columbus tonight, I believe, the Columbus Blue Jackets. So hopefully they'll get back.
I mean, I'm not giving up on them by any means. What I'm saying, I think right now they just haven't gelled. They're just not right. There's just something off in every game. One, like you said, one game they score, the next game they play great defense, but their power, their penalty kill has been amazing. That's the one thing they've improved on.
Yeah, let me say real quick. I think we're going to go to the phone lines in a second. I did have a couple of scores in for the contest. John from Clearwater was on Facebook. He picked the Bucks to win 31-24 with a 10-10 tie at halftime. And also Mike K. He picked Detroit to win 31-27, and the Lions leading at halftime 17-10. Who do we have on the phone lines?
So we're going to go to Anthony from Tampa, who's on the phone right now.
All right, Anthony, good morning.
Talking
Welcome
lightning,
to the home team.
you knew Anthony would call in.
Hey, good morning, guys. When you and Marshall get together, it sparks a little of interest in watching college football. You guys are really top-notch on your discussion and analyzing of college football. Even though my Huskies of Connecticut aren't in it, but it's still something to watch on Saturday. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you, Anthony.
So I can see why Lee is always going for those cookie sheets, man. Those things are incredible.
Thank you.
And I think I took too much sweets at the auction, and I had to get rid of quite a bit of M&Ms and a cheesecake. The preparation of the cheesecake was excellent.
Yeah.
So let me get to the Lightning, guys. I see shadows of prior to Mr. Vinnick buying the team. I see shadows of fans, these supposed pseudo Lightning fans, who were non-existent. And I'm focusing in on the supposed fan base that Cooper keeps sparking up. Like he's ignoring the other fans who around the arena who shout out for the team and every night at the arena. These people weren't in existence back then. All of a sudden, Vinnick bought the team and spruced everything up. All of a sudden, the bandwagoners jumped on board. We'll see how long these supposed fans hang around when the season starts going downwards. Right now, the Lightning are kind of in a peril because of the introduction of young, like you mentioned, Marshall. A lot of young new guys coming in. They haven't gotten adapted to Cooper's way of working the lines. They're still working. It's work in progress. I think that's going to probably take somewhere mid-season for them to get a development and get into his mindset. But now with the new ownership, my pet peeve is get rid of these stupid noisemakers. I hate those things. I hate you if you can't clap, you can't shout in support of the team. And I hate those towels. Those towels originated with Pittsburgh.
I was going to say the terrible towels.
I hate Pittsburgh. I hate Pittsburgh. I don't want
just
anything
another reason to hate Pittsburgh.
I mean, come on. So, and my thing, and this goes to Mac. Mac, your Jets fans are diehard fans. I mean, it's nothing. I used to work late at nights, commuting back and forth on my bike to do several jobs, and I would stop at several locations to catch a Patriots-Jets game. And I remember several times going into these bars, and there would be a contingency of Jets fans there. Then all of a sudden, slowly, Patriots fans start coming in. So there's that rivalry. But, it's the same thing with the Islanders. I mean, the Islanders have a tradition of 4 consecutive championships. And then these Islander fans, when they come to the arena, they're diehards. They have a history. So when I hear these young punks in our section, my section specifically, shouting, Boston Bruins suck or Flyers suck. I remember one incident when a young guy in one of the elevators with his dad, a Bruins fan, young kid, he probably was 16, 17, and you had a guy dressed in the nines in Lightning apparel, probably 25, somewhere between that. So the guy starts shooting his mouth about the Boston Bruins. I told him, I went out, keeping my mouth shut. I said, well, you know what? I bet you that young kid has more history of his team stored away in his mind than you have of the Lightning. And I remember Dave Papa. I mentioned that Dave Papa, I respect Bruins fans because they have their history down pat. And that goes with any other team that's preceded the Lightning. They have history and they have it diehard. Yeah. Until Papa said, these Lightning fans right now are current fans. You could ask them, name a player prior to 2009. They couldn't bring up any specific player. So that just shows the shallowness. When I hear these clowns, especially my terror section, shouting out the opposing team's fans, show me your medal. Show me what you have is backing you up at the Lightning fan.
I see where you're coming from, Anthony, but I also think that's because we're a younger franchise. These other franchises have been around for a long, long, long time and have that great history. So I'm not going to totally crucify the Lightning fans for this, but the younger generation, I get you. I know what you're saying.
I'm saying when the team started, there was only one booster club that started in 1992 and in a short period afterwards. Everything following that, and I remember at the last call, Matt Salmon used to host the last call down in the arena for all those people that gathered to hear him and Chief and Brian Ingram. Those were you can tell they're veteran fans. You couldn't see one young person out there. But all of a sudden, Vinnick buys the team, improves the arena, and all of a sudden they come out of the woodworks. So to me, I'm giving credit to those veteran Lightning fans who stuck with the team from the beginning to the end.
Yeah, like you and me, like us that have season tickets.
I'll also say this, Anthony. The thing is with in Tampa, and you could look at also in Miami with Florida. Throughout the state of Florida, it's kind of a different mentality when it comes to fans in sports in general. Because there's such a melting pot down here, a lot of people move to Florida from other places. They carry their loyalty to the other teams, but just in general, and I would look at even like California as well, out there with some of their sports teams. You don't necessarily have the hardcore, diehard passion mentality like you do with fans from a New York or a Chicago or a Boston or a Philadelphia or Pittsburgh. It's just different.
It is.
It's just different.
You never will.
And
you never will.
That's the thing is you never will. Nope. It's always going to be that.
Talk about it all you want, but it's never going to happen.
No, and that's why oftentimes you'll see more fans of the opposing teams in sports arenas in state of Florida or in the state of California or others than you're going to see in places up north.
Now you got too many people like Matt that they just can't give up their teams and they come down here. They want to live here and enjoy all the amenities, but they got New York through their blood, and they just can't let it go. That's just their thing, and it's going to be like that.
And this statement goes a long way. Put up or shut up. Put up your history of the team, despite the young history of the team, or just shut your yapper. I mean, it's just that simple. If you're going to go to the extent of shouting down another team and lambasting them, then you better be ready to prove where you stand as far as your history of the team. That's what I'm saying.
Good point. Well, Anthony, what do you think about the Bucs game on Monday night against the Lions?
What a performance against Seattle. I mean, these guys, you can't, man. Baker is just amazing. So I'm going to go 25-22 Tampa Bay.
25-22.
Even though they got a roster that's missing some of the pivotal guys, I just see these guys just grinding it out there.
Keep it going.
So 25-22 and then 14-6 halftime Tampa Bay.
What was it at halftime again?
14-6.
14-6 Bucks. Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll see. Let's hope you're right. We get another victory. Go 6-1.
Good show, guys.
All right, Anthony. Thank you.
Thank you, Anthony. Thank you for your call.
Now, the one thing I got to say about Matty, I got to give him respect because he still wears all his team colors. But the thing is, they all stink, which is great because we love it. They all stink. Everything in New York
all the more
stinks.
The diehard.
They're all bad.
I will say, you know what? Things change. Things change. They goes and say, I mean, listen, it wasn't that long ago that the Bucks, they were the most losing franchise in all of sports. They were horrible. And we remember that. The Rays for years were horrible. The first 10 years the franchise were dreadful.
But they're not now.
No,
it's 2025.
But that's the point.
So it's all about now.
The one hope for some of those teams like the Islanders and the Jets and maybe even the Browns is they can turn it around.
Okay, closet New York fan.
No, I'm not. I'm giving hope to others.
Leave the New York fandom on the show to me, please.
You got it. Anyway, You got to look at the phone numbers once again. We're going to hit a break here, but call in, give us your opinions, and enter the contest. 727-441-3000. That's 727-441-3000. We'll be back right after this on the Father and Sons Windows and Doors Home Team on the TAN Talk Radio Network, AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1 and 102.3, and Facebook
Live.
This is the TAN Talk Radio Network.
The Palm Pavilion on Clearwater Beach is back and better than ever. Beautiful sunsets on sparkling Clearwater Beach, relaxing times with a wide variety of menu items, from sandwiches, seafood, landlubbers' favorites, desserts, and your favorite alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks is what you'll find at the Palm Pavilion. Located at 10 Bay Esplanade on Clearwater Beach, they're saying of there's no place like this place any place else, so this must be the place truly applies. Come and enjoy a relaxing lunch, dinner, or drinks at one of Tampa Bay's gems that visitors from all over the world make a destination. The Palm Pavilion, 10 Bay Esplanade, right on Clearwater Beach. Visit them and check out their menu on the web at palmpavilion.com. That's palmpavilion.com. If your home is in need of new windows or doors, look no further than Father and Son Windows and Doors, the title sponsor of the Home Team. Right now, for all Home Team listeners, Father and Son Windows and Doors is offering interest-free financing for 12 months with nothing down. That's right, nothing down. You can get your project done now and not pay any interest for 12 months without putting anything down. We trust Father and Son Windows and Doors at the Home Team. In fact, I'm one of their customers, and you can too. Expert sales and service, top-of-the-line products, and a company that stands by what they sell. For all of your window and door needs, it's Father and Son Windows and Doors. Visit them on the web at faswd.com. Father and Son Windows and Doors, faswd.com. That's faswd.com. What will you find at Grace Family Church? Here's lead pastor Chris Bonham.
We want to be applicable to everybody. So I say everyone would benefit from it. Whether you're a child, we have amazing children's ministries all the way up to adults. The whole gamut, really, we cover that. And when they do come, it's the same thing, same formula for everybody. We want to give them biblical principles that are applicable today. We also want them to find their community. We want them to find relationships that are going to really help them grow in their relationship with God. And then also really find a strength in knowing who they are in Christ.
For all of the information for Grace Family Church, just go to gfcflorida.com. That's gfcflorida.com for service times, campus locations, and more. gfcflorida.com. Come and experience the magic that is Grace Family Church. Again, go to gfcflorida.com. This is Paul Porter. You know, with the schedule I keep working for the Lightning and Buccaneers, a good night's sleep is a must for me. That's why I'm happy to tell you about the Original Mattress Factory. Their mattresses are hand-built right here in Tampa Bay with the highest quality at a very reasonable price. They aren't like these other mattress companies that'll jack their prices up every holiday and then do a so-called super discount during their so-called sale. You actually end up paying more than what the mattress is worth. The secret is, with OMF, you're getting factory direct pricing and eliminating the middleman retailer. There's no high-pressure salespeople either. OMF is employee-owned, and they make it all about you. Double-sided mattresses, and they even email you when it's time to flip your mattress. Stop by their factory on Almerton Road in Clearwater and see for yourself, or visit one of their stores in Tampa or Brandon. There's nothing like a good night's sleep, and you'll get it with the Original Mattress Factory, and you'll get it for less. The Original Mattress Factory.
The Florida State Fairgrounds is home to so much more than just the fair that runs every February. Concerts, trade shows, conferences, and competitions are all just a few of the things you'll find at the Florida State Fairgrounds and Mid-Florida Credit Union Amphitheater all year long. For the very latest information and schedules, visit floridastatefair.com. The Florida State Fair and so much more, all happening at the Florida State Fairgrounds and Mid-Florida Credit Union Amphitheater. We'll see you at the Florida State Fairgrounds.
Did you know that Cambridge Christian School Athletic Department was honored with the Kerry McDonald Award as the 2A Athletic Program of the Year for the second consecutive year? The CCS Lancers have had 71 district championships, 21 regional championships, 5 state championships, and 37 Final Four teams. Over 200 of our student athletes have signed to play at the college level, and one has joined an NFL team. Visit us today at ccslancers.com.
Time for more of the home team. Here again are Paul Porter and Jason Alessi.
And welcome back to the Father and Sons Windows and Doors home team. This is Jason Alessi along with Marshall O'Shields. And let's get into college football, some of the matchups. Starting last night, big shakeup. Number 2 Miami went down to Louisville, lost 24-21. I know the Louisville defense forced the Miami quarterback Carson Beck into 4 interceptions. And, this is one of those games, again, you think you've got the sport figured out. Miami, then they already have victories over Notre Dame, over Florida State, over USF, who is a good team. When looking at their schedule, you figure, they've kind of got it made the rest of the way. They should be the favorites. There's no reason they shouldn't go undefeated. Kind of said the same thing last year when Miami jumped out to a good start and they dropped a couple of games, missed the playoffs. Well, here, they get beat by a good Louisville team, a team that I think, people need to pay attention to. But obviously a game that they expected to win, and they come away with the loss.
Yeah, I think that, to be honest with you, that game was not as close as the score indicated last night. Louisville had an 11-point lead with 7 minutes to go in that game, and we're in total control. And to the kids' credit, the Miami defense made a really nice tackle on
a fumble,
some kind of weird.
Fumble.
One of the things that I've always been a proponent of, when you're running the football and you're trying to run a clock out like they were last night, you don't ever run wide on a fast team. You go forward. So forward. You had a 2nd and 4 that you turned into a 3rd and 8. Then the hit happens, you fumble, they pick it up, and all of a sudden you inject life right back into them. Then they run probably the best play I've ever seen called on a 2-point conversion on the double reverse pass. They get the 2. And they're back to within 3, and now they stole all the momentum. But to Louisville's credit, the defense stepped up and made a great play. But that game wasn't even as close to score indicated. Yeah. Louisville physically outplayed them, and that Louisville defense is really, really good.
They are. And Jeff Brom is a good coach. I mean, as I remember, he was the quarterback in Louisville back in the early 90s. And then his brother, Brian Brom, was later the quarterback there. But Jeff Brom did a very good job at turning the Purdue program back around. And now he's back at his alma mater. He's got them playing good football. And the ACC, really, when you think about it, is wide open. You've got Georgia Tech, who is undefeated. They've got kind of an intriguing game against Duke. Miami has a loss. Louisville has 1 loss.
Miami's next 3 games are Stanford, SMU, and Syracuse.
Yeah.
And then NC State and Virginia Tech. So, I mean, they're not going to lose probably any of those games. But this was a wake-up call.
Yeah.
This was definitely a wake-up call that there's good teams out there.
What it was.
And the ACC is sneaking up on a lot of people.
It is. Now staying within just the, games in the Sunshine State for the local Florida teams, USF plays later tonight against FAU, Florida Atlantic. Yep. Florida State they're on the West Coast playing Stanford. That's a late game start, 10:30. And then Florida has an afternoon game against Mississippi State. And so we're going to have those and a whole bunch of other matches.
USF has to be careful because Florida Atlantic is one of those teams that could step up and give you some trouble. And you're already looking ahead to next week when you have your biggest game of the season next week for USF with Memphis at Memphis, a ranked team. This is the game to prove that if you deserve to be considered for the playoffs. So you can't look ahead. Alex Golesh has got to make sure his team focused tonight against Florida Atlantic, get the job done, win the game, and then start preparing for next week. Because if you walk in there thinking, these Florida teams, they all have some talent.
Well, in Florida, USF and FAU have kind of a salty history recently. Now, Tom Herman, who was the former FAU coach, who I think Alex Golesh took some exceptions with in running up the score in the game 2 years ago, he's no longer the head coach, but still, there's been some animosity there, and I think that always makes that matchup intriguing. Let's go to the phones real quick. We've got RCM, the Rubber Cement Man, is with us. Hello, RCM. Welcome to the home team.
Hi, everybody.
Hello there.
What what do you think about the? What? I don't know how you pronounce his name. 3 home runs and 10 strikeouts.
Oh yeah, Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
Yeah, guy's unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, just an incredible. Well, like they call it a generational player.
He's
for the
earning
Dodgers.
all of that $600+ million. That guy is the best player that has ever played this game. There is no doubt.
Yeah, you think he'll be a first-time all Hall of Fame?
Yes,
I don't see how he couldn't be.
Yeah,
I don't see how he couldn't be. When you can throw 8 innings or 7 innings of one hit ball last night, hit 3 home runs. I mean, this is Babe Ruth from 100 years ago.
You don't see any more guys who are great pitchers, who are great hitters. That just doesn't happen in the game anymore. I'm guessing you
probably didn't watch the game, but some of those pitches, that snap he had on his breaking ball last night and his splitter, like he's a legit top 5 pitcher in the league, if not the best. And then not only that, the guy can smack it out of the park.
Yeah.
I mean, he walks up there in the first pitch of the first game against the Brewers and knocks it out of the park. I mean, you just can't do that.
The thing about it is, he's like a unicorn or something. He's just magical.
Yeah, he is. It's unbelievable. Yeah. He's that good. He's just that good.
And you don't even see these little wimpy pitchers today. They can't even I don't think how many complete games have been pitched the whole season.
You don't see it anymore. You just very, very rarely, if any, that you see. I mean, if a pitcher's got a no-hitter going, the manager they're trying to keep him in to get that no-hitter. Outside of that, very rarely do we see pitchers. Someone at the bakery, one of the customers came in. We got into a talking baseball, and he mentioned, who was it, Bench or whatever? Someone threw back-to-back no-hitters years ago in consecutive starts, had no-hitters. But like today, you just don't see pitchers pitch.
Yeah, now they talk about team no-hitters. What the hell is that?
Yeah, that's when again the starting pitcher has a no-hitter going, then you bring in the bullpen. You hope the bullpen can hold up and keep the no-hitter going.
Baseball RCM has a lot of these things that I can't stand, and I'll tell you one of them right now. One of them is quality start. 5 innings and giving up less than 3 runs is considered a quality start. You can take that and say you can have it.
Yeah.
I mean, are you serious?
It's just ridiculous. Now all of those, in fact, they're having to invent new records because I'm pretty sure that all those records, like all those pitching records from 15 years ago, maybe, I don't know when it started, but they'll never be broken.
Yeah.
There's nobody ever pitches a complete game.
Yeah.
I mean, well, you know what I mean, but like what? How many were pitched? Were there even 10 complete games?
I would have to look that up. Of course, the problem, I guess, with so many pitchers getting the Tommy John surgery, and there's with the money that's involved in paying them, and they don't want the guys to throw out their arms, and so it's just a mentality has changed now. And I think you're going out as teams; they're looking to protect the pitchers, and they don't want them pitching as much because of the wear and tear it does on their arm, but.
Yeah, baseball has just come up with so many things that they're trying to keep the interest. I mean, they came up with exit velocity. The only exit velocity I'm interested in is how fast I can get out of the stadium when my team loses. Yeah, that's the only thing I'm interested in exit velocity. That's it.
Yeah.
But baseball has just gone off the rails with some of that stuff. But I have to say, I agree with you. A lot of these records in baseball are. I'm very happy they won't be broken because they keep trying to change the game.
RC, we're getting near the top of the hour. What do you think for the Bucks on Monday night against Detroit?
Detroit's going to whack them.
Okay. I hope not, but what's the score?
Well, they've been doing pretty good, but I think they're going to get whacked. Probably 32-28.
Okay, well, that's not that bad. What do you think at halftime?
2020.
2020.
All right, thanks, RCM.
All right, thank you, RCM. Good comments there. All right.
Okay.
You have a good one. Talk to you next week. And we're going to hit the top of the hour break here on the Father and Son Windows and Doors home team on the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1, 102.3, and Facebook
Live.
WTAN, Clearwater.
FM 106.1.
WDCF, Dade City.
FM 102.3.
Listen.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Eggland's Best.
I'm Michael Wallace. Some of today's No Kings rallies across the country to protest the Trump administration and its policies are getting underway this hour. The last round of rallies on June 14th countered Trump's birthday and military parade. Today's protests come on day 18 of the government shutdown, making it the third longest shutdown in modern history. CBS's Nicole Killian says Congress left town for the weekend.
The director of the Office of Management and Budget at the White House announced that $11 billion will be put on hold for projects by the Army Corps of Engineers, including in blue cities like New York and San Francisco. This after the president warned he would target Democratic programs the longer the shutdown continues.
The Trump administration is asking the Supreme Court to allow the immediate deployment of National Guard troops to Illinois, a move a lower court blocked. CBS News Chicago legal analyst Irv Miller.
The federal government is asking that there be an administrative stay. In other words, just make a decision without hearing from the other side. I don't think that's going to happen. I think they'll give the state of Illinois and the city of Chicago time to respond.
Los Angeles Dodgers star Shohei Ohtani set another record last night, becoming the first pitcher to hit multiple home runs in a playoff game. He hit 3.
Oh, my goodness! Shohei Ohtani! Wow!
Shohei Ohtani struck out 10 over 6 scoreless and cracked 3 home runs to help the Dodgers knock off the Brewers in Game 4 of their National League Championship Series Friday night 5-1 for a chance to compete for their second straight World Series title.
Pages going back on the warning track. He makes the catch. Ball game series. The Dodgers are going back to the World Series.
The call courtesy of the Dodgers radio network. The Dodgers await the winner of the Toronto-Seattle series. The Mariners lead that best-of-7 set 3-2. Erica Herskowitz for CBS News.
More aid is flowing into Gaza. The BBC's Hugo Beshega is in Jerusalem.
Tom Fletcher, who is the UN humanitarian chief, is saying that aid is now moving into Gaza with trucks carrying food, medicine, also tents. He says that the UN is on track to get 1 million meals every day into Gaza with
Hamas has returned the remains of a 10th hostage to Israel. The bodies of at least 18 hostages are still unaccounted for. The U.S. has blocked a global fee on shipping emissions. A proposal before the International Maritime Organization would have set limits on those emissions and would have imposed fees for anyone who exceeded them. But the organization's meeting wrapped up yesterday without a vote on the matter. This is CBS News.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best eggs. They're just so delicious, with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best.
Hey, you new to the area or just want to know about the best hidden gems and upcoming events? Stay tuned. Be Local Buzz with Devin takes you to these places, introduces you to the best businesses, and tells you about upcoming buzz. Preset your radio to Tan Talk 1340 AM or 106.1 FM every Thursday from 4 to 5. That is the Be Local Buzz with Devin on Tan Talk 1340 AM and 106 FM every Thursday from 4 to 5. Looking forward to speaking with you.
Do you have questions after being injured in a car accident or injured because of someone's negligence? Do you feel overwhelmed or uncertain about the next steps after being injured in a crash? The personal injury attorneys at Peronick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes have been helping their injured clients since 1955 and are now on this radio station to provide guidance to you. Listen to FLA Law each Tuesday from 5 to 6 p.m. Let their decades of experience help you and your family. Offices in Clearwater, non-attorney spokesman.
Every Thursday morning at 10 o'clock, join Ed Golly for the Voice of Reason as he counters the spin, distortions, audio illusions, and alternative facts of the conservatives who overwhelm the AM radio band. He'll give you plain, straight, factual discussion of the events of the day from a progressive point of view. Thursday, 10 a.m., here on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Tune in to the Dr. Lou and Tammy Show every Wednesday, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. on 106.1 and 102.3 FM. We shine a spotlight on local small businesses, giving them a platform and the recognition they deserve. We also dive into today's top medical news, keeping you informed and empowered. Don't miss out. Join us for engaging conversations and expert insights only on the Dr. Lou and Tammy Show.
Show me the money. It's the Employment Opportunity Hour with Gene Hodge from 7 until 8.
So the purpose of the show is to help you out there to find something that you enjoy doing instead of a job. And at the start of the show, I normally give out a formula, which I know will guarantee you to find the type of job that you want right now.
Find out the formula to an enjoyable job with Gene Hodge's Employment Opportunity Hour from 7 until 8 here on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Show me the money. That's the Employment Opportunity Hour, Wednesday nights from 7 to 8 here on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
This is Paul Porter, the arena voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning and press box voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, inviting you to join me and Jason Alessi for the home team every Saturday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. here on the Tan Talk Radio Network and Facebook Live, the home team with Paul Porter. Special guests, prizes, and your phone calls about the Bucs, Lightning, Rays, USF, Sun, FSU, Florida, and more. Talk to you this Saturday at 9 a.m. right here on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
The Tampa Bay Sun have won the USL Super League Championship.
When the Super Bowl ended, the ball would be in the hands of Tom Brady. I don't know why we ever think it won't.
It's time for the Father and Son's home team on the Tan Talk Radio Network and Facebook Live. The home team is brought to you by Father and Son's Windows and Doors, locally owned and operated with offices in Tampa Bay and Orlando. Visit them on the web at faswd.com and mention the home team for special pricing. And now, here he is, the arena voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning and the press box voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Paul Porter.
And thank you, Pat Porter. Welcome to the second hour of the home team here. This is Jason Alessi and Marshall Shields. And Paul Porter is out this week, taking it easy. But what did real quick, again, I forgot to do before the top of the hour, the trivia question, which is answered online. And that is this week's trivia question. Given that we're getting ready for the World Series here, which Major League Baseball team was the last to repeat as World Series champions? So who was the last baseball team to win back-to-back World Series? So if you can answer that on Facebook Live, that is this week's trivia question. And also mentioned we have on Facebook, Paul has joined us on Facebook. Not Paul Porter, but actually another Paul is watching us. So thank you so much for joining.
And if you want to put a score in, just put it on Facebook and we'll get it in for you.
Absolutely, yeah, by all means. Yeah, it's been so it's actually been split thus far. We've had four people give their scores. 2 have picked the Bucs and 2 have picked the Lions. Kind of figured that. This is one of those games. It's a pick 'em game. It really could go either way.
Yep.
So we're going to see what happens.
Well, let's get back to the college football because on the slate today we got some outstanding games.
I'll tell you. Let's start with right at noon. A very intriguing game. LSU and Vanderbilt. That's an SEC matchup between ranked teams. LSU still just one loss. I think
Vanderbilt just one loss, losing to Alabama.
That was So that's an interesting game there. Vanderbilt, I remember for years they were the doormat of the SEC, but not anymore.
Nope.
They've got a good team going on there. So that's the team there. Also mentioned that there's an intriguing ACC game between Georgia Tech, an undefeated Georgia Tech team, playing Duke. A team is, who I believe is just 4-2, has gotten off to a pretty good start. So that's there in the ACC. Then as we get into 3:30, big one down in Athens, Georgia. Ole Miss, number 5 versus number 9 Georgia. Excellent matchup in the SEC. Ole Miss with Lane Kiffin, his head coach, is still undefeated. Georgia has just the one loss to Alabama. So big time playoff implications in that
You
game.
also got Tennessee and Alabama.
Tennessee and Alabama later tonight. Yep, number 11 Tennessee and number 6 Alabama. Alabama, since their opening week loss to FSU, has reeled off, I believe, 5 straight and has beaten some really good teams too.
Yep.
Tennessee just has the one loss to Georgia, so that's an excellent game there. Also later on, Notre Dame and USC. Long time, great rivalry, and probably
Like you
will
said,
be,
playoff eliminator.
It will
I
probably
think.
be
Yep.
a playoff eliminator. I mean, Notre Dame, obviously, they lost their first 2 games, close games to start the season. They can't afford any more losses, and USC has 1 loss, but I think don't have the strongest of schedules. So I think a loss tonight would pretty much end their hopes at making the playoffs. Now, of course, USF has Florida Atlantic tonight. They have the big matchup, you mentioned, Marshall, next week against Memphis, number 22 Memphis, who is currently undefeated. They also are going to play later on a Navy team that's currently undefeated. USF, I think, has an opportunity still to make the college football playoff. Obviously, playing in a conference like the American Conference puts them at a disadvantage. But if they win out and finish 12-1, having beaten teams like in their own conference like Memphis, Navy, and even last week's win against North Texas, who looks like a good team, plus the out-of-conference wins against Boise State
and Florida,
and Florida, and then their only loss would be being on the road to a very good Miami team. I think that's a very good resume. It depends on what some of the other teams do. In terms of
it helps and hurts.
It does.
Miami losing hurts them a little bit, but because they lost to Miami pretty bad. But they need the Gators beating Texas was another bonus for them. If the Gators can somehow fight back in the conference and play halfway decent down the stretch.
Even if Florida's record overall isn't that impressive, they still are a top program in the SEC, and that win came on the road in a very hostile place, a very difficult place to play. So that I think that does count for something. And Boise State, who was a playoff team last year, their only 2 losses were to USF and to Notre Dame, a very good Notre Dame team. I think they're still going to go on to have a very good record by season's end. Boise State always seems to have a good team, so that's a quality win as well for USF.
Yep, and we're already talking about coaching changes because Indiana locked up their coach over the huge win over Oregon because they know that Florida's looking. With Franklin out there, Florida. The rumors were flying this week from some boosters, intentionally or unintentionally let out that this could be Napier's last game. They have a bye week after this, and then they have Georgia. So if you're going to make a switch, and you're probably already in talks with Franklin, even if you don't necessarily want him, I'm sure you're already having conversations. That's just the way these things work.
The thing with James Franklin, even though his record at Penn State overall was very good, he could not win the big games.
No, but what I heard about James Franklin is listen to some of the national stuff is that the one thing that guy does, he can build a program back to a high level. He may not be able to get them over the top. And right now, the Gators need to be built back to a high level. Right. They're not at a high level right now, and they need to be built back. So that's one of the things I think that is the bonus with him because he is wearing that label of can't win the big game. But you got to get to the big game to try to win the big game. If your team is not getting to the big game, which is Florida is not doing right now, they're not at that status to get there, then it's hard for me to argue for a guy that if the knock is he can't win the big game.
Talking about going back to USF and Alex Golesh for a moment, you had mentioned at the end of last week's show, you felt Golesh pretty soon might be gone. Now, obviously, with the success he's having there, he's bound to get offers from some big name programs. So the question then becomes, will he stay or will he go? And only time will tell that. I know Golesh has said, and a lot of coaches will say this, but he seems to have been pretty emphatic that when he took the USF job, he wants to be here for the long term. He wants to build this program. He likes Tampa. He wants his family to live in the Tampa Bay area. Also, the fact that the stadium issue, the fact that USF was going to build an on-campus stadium was a big determining factor in him taking this job. So that in and of itself might tell you that he wouldn't entertain leaving until
I
the
like what you're
stadium
saying.
is built.
I like what you're saying, but when Penn State or Florida come calling them with $50 million and you know USF can't pay that, that changes your thinking quickly because you only get so many of these windows, Jason. Loyalty only goes so far these days in everything with college football.
Here's that question. Here's the question. I think now, while it might not be that kind of money, I do think USF would give him a very nice pay raise. The big issue is, and when you're a coach, whether you're Goldish or any other coach, do you want the prestige and the opportunity of coaching at a big-time program, knowing that there is so much more pressure and you're not going to be able to people are not going to be patient with you if you slip up? Or are you content with staying at a program that you could be there basically your entire career, be very comfortable, have success, and not be under the type of pressure of being fired?
But as a coach, and a competitor, don't you want to see what your level is, the highest level you could get to?
It depends.
And if they come calling, I don't think it depends. I think as a coach and a competitor, why do you think these guys leave all the time? Nobody says, I'm going to stay. Just pay me the same amount. Indiana's coach is staying because they paid him a lot more money. USF doesn't have Florida money. USF doesn't have Penn State money. They don't. Okay, so that's a big factor, Jason. You can talk loyalty all you want. These guys jump like crazy because of these type of situations. I understand the failure thing, but the one thing you got to understand about college coaches is that money is guaranteed. Okay, guaranteed. So I don't care if I get fired 10 times. You think Billy Napier's unhappy if he gets fired? He's walking out with how many millions of dollars?
You look at the Jimbo Fisher buyout.
Yeah. I mean,
we're going to get back to. We're going to hit a break right now. I want to mention real quick. David was the winner of our trivia question. He answered it correctly. The Yankees were the last Major League Baseball team to repeat as champions. They actually did it 3 years in a row. Back in 2000, 1999, and 1998. Those great Yankees teams under Joe Torre won back to back. So David, you are the winner there. Congratulations. We're going to hit a break. We're going to touch more on that, on the USF situation and other college games and other topics when we come back. But we'll be back on the Father and Sons Windows and Doors home team, the TAN Talk radio network on AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1, 102.3, and Facebook
Live.
This is the TAN Talk Radio Network.
If your home is in need of new windows or doors, look no further than Father and Son Windows and Doors, the title sponsor of the home team. Right now, for all home team listeners, Father and Son Windows and Doors is offering interest-free for 12 months financing with nothing down. That's right, nothing down. You can get your project done now and not pay any interest for 12 months without putting anything down. We trust Father and Son Windows and Doors at the home team, and you can too. Expert sales and service, top-of-the-line products, and a company that stands by what they sell. For all of your window and door needs, it's Father and Son Windows and Doors. Visit them on the web at faswd.com.
Much like the weather, your life could change at the drop of a hat. Don't be caught unprepared. You don't know what will happen tomorrow, but no matter what happens to you, you can make sure your loved ones are provided for with a life insurance policy from Auto Owners Insurance. Meet with a local independent agent and secure a policy now to rest easy knowing you're protecting the ones you love. Visit Vermost Insurance in Tampa Bay today at vermost.com. This is Paul Porter. You know, with the schedule I keep working for the Lightning and Buccaneers, a good night's sleep is a must for me. That's why I'm happy to tell you about the Original Mattress Factory. Their mattresses are hand-built right here in Tampa Bay with the highest quality at a very reasonable price. They aren't like these other mattress companies that'll jack their prices up every holiday and then do a so-called super discount during their so-called sale. You actually end up paying more than what the mattress is worth. The secret is with OMF, you're getting factory direct pricing and eliminating the middleman retailer. There's no high-pressure salespeople either. OMF is employee-owned, and they make it all about you. Double-sided mattresses, and they even email you when it's time to flip your mattress. Stop by their factory on Almerton Road in Clearwater and see for yourself, or visit one of their stores in Tampa or Brandon. There's nothing like a good night's sleep, and you'll get it with the Original Mattress Factory, and you'll get it for less. The Original Mattress Factory.
For the first time ever, the home team is endorsing a place for all of you fishermen. And the winner is Betts Fishing Center on Starkey Road, just half a mile south of Ulmerton Road in Largo. Betts, that's Betts, is open 7 days a week from 9 to 6, Monday through Saturday, and 9 to 4 on Sunday. Everything you need, from clothing by AFCO and Skinny Water Culture to Shimano and Daiwa Reels. They also do repair of your equipment. Betts Fishing Center on Starkey Road, just half a mile south of Ulmerton in Largo. Online at customfishing.com.
When you talk about ice rink development in West Central Florida, one name stands alone: Iceman Development, LLC. Gordy Zimmerman, president and founder of Iceman Development, has played an integral part in the construction of the Ice Sports Forum in Brandon, the training home of the three-time Stanley Cup champion Tampa Bay Lightning, and the Advent Health Center Ice Complex, a multi-million-dollar facility boasting 150,000 square feet, and ranked the top indoor ice rink facility by both the USA Today and Yelp. Iceman Development is currently involved in creating yet another outstanding ice rink facility in Trinity and Pasco County. Iceman's company mission is to build community projects that impact the area both in quality of life and economic growth. For more information, visit icemandevelopment.com. That's Iceman with two N's, development.com. If your home is in need of new windows or doors, look no further than Father and Son Windows and Doors, the title sponsor of the home team. Right now, for all home team listeners, Father and Son Windows and Doors is offering interest-free financing for 12 months with nothing down. That's right, nothing down. You can get your project done now and not pay any interest for 12 months without putting anything down. We trust Father and Son Windows and Doors at the home team. In fact, I'm one of their customers, and you can too. Expert sales and service, top-of-the-line products, and a company that stands by what they sell. For all of your window and door needs, it's Father and Son Windows and Doors. Visit them on the web at faswd.com. Father and Son Windows and Doors, faswd.com. That's faswd.com.
Thanks for staying with us. Now more of the home team with Paul Porter and Jason Alessi.
And thank you very much. Welcome back to the home team. This is Jason Alessi along with Marshall O'Shields this week. And obviously, we've been talking about the big game with the Bucks this Monday night against Detroit. We've been talking a lot of big college football games, the Lightning, a little bit of their early season struggles. And we're also going to get a little bit more into the baseball as well. But let's go back to the phone lines right now. We've got with us Don from St. Pete on the line. Don, welcome to the home team.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Don.
Good morning. I'd like to ask both of you, and I know you're an official, so you know what it's like to have somebody stand there and ask you to appeal something. But are you glad that we're not using the ABS in this World Series?
I am very glad. I don't like it at all.
I think it's going to be overused.
I do too.
And I think it's one of those things that people, I hate to say, people who bet think that there's a reason that the strike zone is a certain size.
Yeah, and I think what you're going to see is you're going to see balls that are called strikes by that thing that look awful. You know, how many times do we see it nick that corner of that thing and then it falls down to the ground and it doesn't look like a strike, but according to that, I just think it's going to be difficult. I think this is one that they're overstepping their bounds on because these guys, it's about consistency behind the plate.
Yeah.
And most of these guys call a consistent strike zone. And most batters don't. If they know you're calling the ball outside, that's okay. As long as everybody knows it and you keep doing it, that's all we've ever lived with for 100 years, and we're fine with it.
I would be in the favor of doing the automated balls and strikes if you're going to do it all the time. But to do it for challenges, I think that'll slow the game down even more. I mean, if you have it where it's implemented, where that's the way it's going to be, and the umpire will hear what the computer calls and just call it a ball or strike according to the computer, that's one thing. But if you with the challenges and all, I agree. That's just more to slow the game down.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. I mean, even the challenges they have right now where they challenge, the other night it was a pickoff play, and usually those don't get challenged. But it did get challenged because obviously the umpire missed it. But it's one of those things that you can't second guess every call that looks like
I
more.
totally agree with you. You
Yeah.
can't. It gets to be too much.
Well, if it's clear and obvious that it was a missed call, that's one thing. When you're nitpicking a matter of inches, that is a bit much, and I think that's unnecessary.
Well, what I don't understand is why can't baseball do what kind of football's done and say replay has send it out to the field for this, instead
Replay
of
assistance.
having to go. Exactly. I like that a lot better than I like, on a blown call in baseball that we see the first time that we know was wrong.
Right.
Why can't you just buzz down to the home plate umpire and say that call was wrong and he announces it right there and we just switch it? That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And we all played youth baseball, and there are times, and I've had this happen to us when we played, where the umpire really did blow the call, and then they got together and they immediately changed the call.
Mm-hmm.
And it may not have made one team happy, but at least kind of corrected.
They got it right. They got it right.
Yeah, but at least somebody thought it out and said, "I think he made the wrong call right then and there."
Mm-hmm.
Well, we talk about it as officials all the time. If there's confusion, get together and get it right.
Right.
The best you can. That's what we talk about that all the time.
But you also have to do it in a quickly and timely manner. The thing that drives me nuts is when they're there. I mean, it seems like for 5 minutes or so, there's conversation and it's still not. It seems like it's not going anywhere.
Well,
and
I don't know if you've been watching the ACC now. They're showing inside the replay booth.
I have seen
and
some
that
of that
stuff is tragically done horribly. I'm sorry, but when you got one guy saying, "Okay, you agree with this, or you agree with it? Oh, we're good with this. We're good with this. We're good with this," and then all of a sudden you come back and go, "Okay, we're good with this." Call confirmed on the field, and like Jason said, it took 5 minutes when it should have taken 15 seconds.
Yeah, that's what drives me nuts. And if the call is that close where you just can't decide, then leave it like it was called on the field and move on. But you have to move on. That's where there's just no need to just if it's by like centimeters, little millimeters. He wasn't this, that. No, that's not necessary. That's not what we were. As a fan, we're not watching sports for that. We want it now. If it was a missed call, it was something that was clear and obvious, but not to that fraction.
I think that's what Don's saying. I really agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. You know what? I love watching baseball, but it gets a little bit too much when everything is even the announcers challenge it, and they don't even. There's nothing that they can do to tell people on the field, and I have to turn the sound off sometimes.
Well, Don, I've told him. I've said several times on the show. One of my least favorite things is when the players pop up and start doing the earmuffs to the head on every play. On every play, we all played baseball, just like you said. If you were in the neighborhood, you were out, and nobody argued. We were out. We got up and we jogged off the field. Yeah. That's just the way it was.
That's the side effect of the replay system now, where all players in all sports, the moment they think it's questionable, go to replay. That's just, unfortunately, that you can't, if you want to get the call right, you're going to have to deal with the people wanting to do it on almost every play. But Don, what do you think for the Bucks-Lions game on Monday night?
Tampa Bay 29, Detroit Lions 25.
Okay, 29-25.
At the half, 10-7.
10-7 in favor for the Bucks?
In favor of the Bucks.
Okay,
I think the Bucks are going to just play a game that nobody's going to expect them to play on defense, and they're just going to hold the Lions back.
Well, I'll tell you, if the Bucks do win this game, I don't think there's going to be any question among people in the league that they are the best team right now. I mean, without a doubt, if they beat Detroit in Detroit, go to 6-1, I think everyone will basically be saying that this is at least at the moment currently the team to beat. So
I think Detroit too is a little inconsistent early in the year, so I think that's why the Bucks will win this one, because they are inconsistent. Sometimes they're even when they play in front of a national audience, they just don't play as well as they should.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there should be something. Hope the Bucks pull it out, though, Don. Thank you so much. And congratulations on last week's win.
Yes,
again.
I just want to tell Paul that I got the letter.
Good. Okay. Good. Excellent.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Right. Thank you, Don. Have a good one. Yep. And let's see. Let's go to we've got Lee with us calling in from Ottawa. Hello, Lee. Welcome to the home team.
Good morning. Welcome to cold Canada. 36 degrees there this morning.
I was just about to ask, what's the weather? 36. How about that? A far cry from here. It's actually beautiful here, too.
Yeah, I'd rather be here.
Yeah. Right.
Actually, this week, of course, I drive up here and I don't have an ice scraper in my in my Florida car. So I had to take frost off the windshields with a credit card this week.
Hey, any way you can do it, you find a way. You get creative when you need to. That's no question.
So you think the Los Angeles Dodgers aren't thankful for the ex-Rays pitching staff?
Hey, so you got Tyler Glass now. You got Blake Snell. Yeah, I'd say so. That's the Rays way. Let's trade guys away and let them win a championship elsewhere. Unfortunately, Randy Arozarena still has his chance to do so in Seattle. Another former Ray. Yeah, it's a little disheartening.
There's a few more lesser known guys out there too. Believe it or not, that are still playing.
Sure, no doubt. Well, so again, I was a little disappointed. Obviously, the Dodgers have been there so much. I would have preferred the Brewers in that series. Although in some ways, it does make it intriguing because you got the powerhouse team. You're trying to get a dynasty going. The question: can they repeat as World Series champions? But they're going to be playing a team. Either way, it's going to be a new one of the new faces on the block. I mean, Seattle has never been to a World Series, and for Toronto, those back-to-back World Series were over 30 years ago. So either way, I think it's going to be a very intriguing World Series, whoever the Dodgers end up playing.
Well, and the networks got what they wanted. They got the Dodgers. Yeah. They got Shohei. They could not have asked for anything better. They couldn't get the Yankees, but at least they got the Dodgers.
That's right.
And either one of these teams is not a big market for baseball, but it's going to be great because you got the Dodgers.
Yeah.
So was last night's Shohei performance the greatest ever in a championship series, or was Don Larson's perfect game better?
I think this was the greatest I've ever seen. And, I wasn't around for Don Larson, but I have to say last night to hit 3 home runs and to pitch like that last night, that's the greatest performance. I don't know how it can ever be topped.
No, you don't.
I just don't know.
You just don't see it anymore.
I don't know.
I mean, that's incredible.
Larson gave up no hits and Shohei gave up 1.
But did Don Larson hit 3 home runs?
That's what I'm saying.
That's the question.
I think that's the greatest game ever. I totally agree with you, Lee. Greatest game ever.
Yes. And the Lightning needed a win tonight. Today, whatever. They need to snap out. They need some scoring.
Yeah, I know. It's been a little bit of a difficult start. It is still early. There's a lot of games left. And I think the Lightning, are with their talent and with their coaching with Cooper, I think they're going to get it together. It's just like what Marshall mentioned to me, at least, is a little concerning. The thought that some of these players are past their prime. They're starting to get on the downside of their career. And as the season goes along, I mean, that wear and tear, it's only going to make that part of it worse. And do they have enough to keep, get us to where we want to go? That's a big question right there.
Yeah, the payroll says they should be there, but I'm not sure that the legs say they should be there. So I'm hoping. I'm not giving up yet, but I'm telling you. So well, thanks, Lee.
They're in mourning up here in Ottawa. They lost one of the Kachuk brothers for 8 weeks, their captain.
Yeah, that's tough. That's tough.
That is. And, Lee, how about let's get into the contest. What do you think for the Bucks Lions on Monday night?
Okay, 35-27. I hate to say it, but the Lions.
But the Lions, okay, all right. And at halftime,
because the Lions lost last week.
Yeah,
the Lions won.
Yeah, they're gonna be hungry to get back out there. Yep. And how about at halftime?
10-10.
10-10 tie. Okay. All right, Lee. Well, thank you so much for calling, and we'll talk to you next week. You guys enjoy that cool weather up there.
One more week.
Well, okay,
One more week.
Okay. You got it, buddy. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. And we're going to hit a break right now. But again, I'm going to give out the phone numbers. Please call in 727-441-3000. We will be back right after this. This is Jason Alessi and Marshall O'Shields on the Father and Sons Windows and Doors Home Team on the TAN Talk Radio Network, AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1 and 102.3. And as always, Facebook
Live.
This is the TAN Talk Radio Network.
10 years ago, my wife and I started a nonprofit ministry to help victims of domestic violence called Reach Out, Speak Out. Would you consider a donation to help our ministry? If you'd like to join our auxiliary board or just be a friend to Reach Out, Speak Out by helping with your time, talents, or treasures whenever you're available, please contact us by visiting reachoutspeakout.org. Please send your donation to Post Office Box 4979, Tampa, Florida 33677, 5013C number 47163. 0804. My favorite restaurant in all of Tampa Bay is J. Alexander's at the corner of Dale, Mabry, and Cypress, just south of I-275 in Tampa. The prime rib is to die for. Steaks are just as mouthwatering, and that's not all. Seafood like salmon, ahai tuna, shrimp, or crab cakes. Don't forget the salads and appetizers like my favorite French onion soup, and top it all off with a homemade dessert. J. Alexander's in Tampa at Dale, Mabry, and Cypress, just south of 275. Open 7 days, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Reservations suggested but not necessary. Sooner or later, you're going to need a plumber. It's just a fact of life. Want somebody honest and reliable? The plumber I use is the Bearded Plumber. I've known Thomas since his high school days and now is an established plumber who offers 24-hour-a-day full service because plumbing emergencies don't wait. Keep this number handy. You know you're going to need it. It's 866-882-3273. The Bearded Plumber, 866-882-3273. This is Paul Porter. You know, with the schedule I keep working for the Lightning and Buccaneers, a good night's sleep is a must for me. That's why I'm happy to tell you about the Original Mattress Factory. Their mattresses are hand-built right here in Tampa Bay with the highest quality at a very reasonable price. They aren't like these other mattress companies that'll jack their prices up every holiday and then do a so-called super discount during their so-called sale. You actually end up paying more than what the mattress is worth. The secret is, with OMF, you're getting factory direct pricing and eliminating the middleman retailer. There's no high-pressure salespeople either. OMF is employee-owned, and they make it all about you. Double-sided mattresses, and they even email you when it's time to flip your mattress. Stop by their factory on Almerton Road in Clearwater and see for yourself, or visit one of their stores in Tampa or Brandon. There's nothing like a good night's sleep, and you'll get it with the Original Mattress Factory, and you'll get it for less. The Original Mattress Factory. If you fishermen need anything for your fishing enjoyment, you'll find it at Betts Fishing Center on Starkey Road, just a half mile south of Almerton in Largo. Rods and reels by Shimano and Daiwa. Frozen bait for saltwater fishing, clothing from AFCO and Skinny Water Culture, Costa Del Mar sunglasses, and more. Visit them online at customfishing.com. Open 7 days a week from 9 to 6, Monday through Saturday, 9 to 4 on Sunday. Betts Fishing Center, Starkey Road, just a half mile south of Almerton in Largo. Did you know that Cambridge Christian School Athletic Department was honored with the Kerry McDonald Award as the 2A Athletic Program of the Year for the second consecutive year? The CCS Lancers have had 71 district championships, 21 regional championships, 5 state championships, and 37 Final Four teams. Over 200 of our student athletes have signed to play at the college level, and one has joined an NFL team. Visit us today at ccslancers.com. After a car accident, there are many questions that you need answers to. Who pays for my car repairs? Who pays for the medical bills? What about my lost wages? And more. The personal injury law firm of Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes has been answering these questions for their clients for nearly 70 years. Since 1955, they've been a voice of the injured in the legal system. As one of the longest established law firms in Tampa Bay, Pernick, Caulfield, Averill, and Noyes is here to answer your questions. Listen to their live call-in radio show on this channel every Tuesday evening from 5 to 6 p.m. or call them at 727-796-8282 or visit them at voiceoftheinjured.com. Offices Clearwater, non-attorney spokesperson.
If your home is in need of new windows or doors, look no further than Father and Son Windows and Doors, the title sponsor of the Home Team. Right now, for all Home Team listeners, Father and Son Windows and Doors is offering interest-free for 12 months financing with nothing down. That's right, nothing down. You can get your project done now and not pay any interest for 12 months without putting anything down. We trust Father and Son Windows and Doors at the Home Team, and you can too. Expert sales and service, top-of-the-line products, and a company that stands by what they sell. For all of your window and door needs, it's Father and Son Windows and Doors. Visit them on the web at faswd.com.
Now let's get back to the home team with the arena voice of the Tampa Bay Lightning and press box voice of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Paul Porter.
And good morning again. And this is Marshall O'Shields and Jason Alessi. I just wanted to lead in because I'm getting awful hungry. So we definitely got to talk some Alessi Bakery products. And I'm going over to some friend's house tonight, and I'm thinking about coming over and grabbing some cannoli. So hit us up, Jason.
Well, that'd be fantastic if you do. We always appreciate that. Yep, this week we've got specials going on today and tomorrow. Buy one, get one free. Our assorted cake pops, our large eclairs, our tres leche, the 3 milks parfait cakes Sundays are buy one, get one free. And also the 4-pack of brownies. Actually, they're packaged nice. You get a 1 4-pack of brownie, you get another one free. So those are our buy one, get one frees for today and tomorrow. And then starting next week on the 20th, Monday the 20th through next Sunday, our specials are going to be our assorted cake rolls, buy one, get one free, our guava preserved cheesecake cups, buy one, get one free. And you mentioned cannolis, assorted classic cannolis next week. Those are the cannolis with the chocolate dip shell and the specialty flavors. We have peanut butter, Nutella, tiramisu, coconut, different ones that.
What is your best-selling cannoli? I'm really curious.
The best-selling cannoli is the traditional cannoli, the one with the sweet ricotta cheese. Okay. And we can make it. And what we do now is we don't make them in advance and keep them in the case, because sometimes if they don't sell right away, the cannoli shell gets soggy. Mm-hmm. We make all those fresh to order. So you can come in. We have the smaller cannoli shells and the larger cannoli shells, and we just get the bag with the cannoli cream. It's got the chocolate chips in it, and just pipe them in right there.
Since it is the prime football season right now, do you guys have the football cookies, or do you save those for like Super Bowl?
No. We've done football cookies. We have some in the football shape. Some of them have the Go Bucks on them. Some are just the regular football outline.
Because it always just works when you bring those to any type of.
Oh, it does. And we got a lot. And for Halloween coming up, that's always my favorite time. A lot of Halloween themed cookies, cupcakes, and amazing cake displays all around the bakery and decoration. So that's really cool. And we have a great deli offering a variety of wonderful sandwiches, our Cuban sandwiches, Italian subs, Philly cheesesteaks, Reuben's burgers. We have hot entrees, chicken and yellow rice, roast pork and picadillo, and our devil crabs and beef empanadas. And of course, our famous scacciata pizza, the cold meat pizza, always good for any party or get together. We do it in multiple different sizes.
And the one other compliment I got to give Alessi Bakery is that you walk in there and it looks like a madhouse, and you kind of go, oh, I don't know if I want to wait. I don't know if I want to do all this. But only second to Chick-fil-A, you guys get everybody through, and you guys do a good job of making the experience that much better, because you really don't wait that long, and it really goes very smoothly.
Well, thank you. Yeah, no, we always try. We have a good staff there that gets people in and gets people out there. We try to always make it an enjoyable experience. So we're located at 2909 West Cypress Street. That's in between the cross streets, MacDill and Armenia. And Alessi Baker, we're open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturdays are 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Sundays 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. So you come in anytime, get stuff and watch the games with. But getting back there, I know we were talking, of course, a lot of great college games. Let's touch a little bit about the baseball, because we didn't get into that as much. I know we talked a little bit. Obviously, the Dodgers completing the sweep last night. Listen, the Dodgers are the Dodgers. They're loaded with talent. Going back probably to the last 8 years, they've either been in the World Series or been in the NLCS so many times. So we've gotten used to them, and they're going to be going up against us, either Seattle or Toronto. Seattle gets the win last night. Very intriguing game. Toronto was winning 2-1. Seattle tied it, and then Suarez gets the grand slam.
Yeah, Cal Raleigh hit his 64th home run of the season to tie it.
Unbelievable. Talking about another great player having a great
Florida
year.
State boy. Florida State.
Okay,
product.
I didn't realize that. Wow, very, very impressive. But obviously this is intriguing, because the Mariners in their history have never been to the World Series, and of course Toronto. I remember those Toronto teams in the early '90s.
Mitch Williams that blew the World Series.
Yeah.
That was the one.
Yeah,
and then Joe Carter won it with the home run.
Yeah.
But anyway, run real quick baseball tidbit I want to bring up, because we're not going to talk about this much more. But if you really look back on the sale of the Rays and Stuart Sternberg and the whole stadium issues and working with the city of St. Pete, you got to look at it now and say, you know what? This guy never really intended to build a stadium here. He never really intended to put money into anything, because if you look at the way he was torpedoing that stadium deal from the beginning, and now you see why, because he never really had any intentions of doing it. And St. Pete put the best possible deal out there for him, and he torpedoed that. And now you know why, because he never, by his actions of selling and getting this thing done, it shows me that he never had the intentions of building a stadium or putting anything into this, that he just wanted out, or he just wanted to keep making money.
Yep. That's right. Looking at his run as owner, though, you do have to acknowledge that the team, which prior to that, the first 10 years they were just dreadful year in and year out. Starting in 2008, their first playoff season, a World Series season, the win and loss to the Phillies. They began after that point. I think if you look at it, they were one of the most successful teams in all of baseball in terms of making it to the playoffs multiple times, having, a good overall record. And they did go to another World Series, the COVID year of 2020. Obviously, his way of doing business, the Moneyball way, where you did not keep your star players for extended periods of time, and you would basically, trade them away whenever they were up for a big contract. A lot of people didn't like that.
I'm not going to give him the credit for that. I'm going to give him the credit for putting the right people in place to be able to run that system.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say. It's not his idea. It wasn't his idea. He just didn't want to spend, but he did put the right people in place to make them successful. So I will give him that.
And the Rays were successful. I mean, listen, we made the playoffs prior to the last two seasons. The Rays had made the playoffs 5 consecutive years. And then going back, to the Joe Madden years, they were in the playoffs multiple times. And even some of the years they missed the playoffs, they still had winning records. So for what they had and the way they operated and did business, they still managed to win. And they still found the players to get them wins. It's just unfortunate, especially when you're looking at how many of their former players are now with other teams, helping those teams to potentially win a championship. You ask what could have been if we would have kept some of those players. As good as the people in charge were of finding talent, if you could have kept the talent you already had in the building, might we have already won a couple of World Series?
Yep. That was the thing. Both of them had their faux pas in the World Series. The Phillies one was when the game got delayed and then suspended to the next day and came back and blew the game in extra innings. And then the other one was taking Blake Snell out in the game and, blowing that game against the Dodgers and then eventually losing to them. And that's your two marquee times that you got there. And those two things turned it against you.
Yeah. It's tough. We're going to go to another break here, but we'll be back right after this on the Father and Sons Windows and Doors Home Team. Again, the phone number is 727-441-3000. We'll be back on the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1340 and 1350, FM 106.1, 102.3, and Facebook
Live.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
If your home is in need of new windows or doors, look no further than Father and Son Windows and Doors, the title sponsor of the Home Team. Right now, for all Home Team listeners, Father and Son Windows and Doors is offering interest-free for 12 months financing with nothing down. That's right, nothing down. You can get your project done now and not pay any interest for 12 months without putting anything down. We trust Father and Son Windows and Doors at the Home Team, and you can too. Expert sales and service, top-of-the-line products, and a company that stands by what they sell. For all of your window and door needs, it's Father and Son Windows and Doors. Visit them on the web at faswd.com.
Grace Family Church continues to grow with now 8 locations throughout Tampa Bay. Here's lead pastor Chris Bonham on the success of Grace Family Church.
We as a church, we want to be relevant to all people of all ages, and we've been excited to see that. Especially at this time, we're seeing a real hunger for people to come know more about God, know more about the Bible. And we feel like what we're doing on the weekends and in our midweek stuff is really helping people take those steps. So being relevant, but not only relevant, being applicable. So they're going to hear a spiritual principle taught, and then they're going to find out, how can I put that into my life tomorrow?
For more information on Grace Family Church, including locations of their 8 campuses and the times of the service on both Saturday and Sunday, go to gfcflorida.com. Once again, that's gfcflorida.com. Come and experience the magic of Grace Family Church.
If you fishermen and ladies need anything for your fishing equipment, you'll find it at Betts Fishing Center on Starkey Road, just half-mile south of Omerton Road in Largo. Rods and reels by Shimano and Dewa. Frozen bait for saltwater fishing. clothing from AFCO and Skinny Water Culture, Costa Del Mar sunglasses, and more. Visit them online at customfishing.com. Open 7 days a week from 9 to 6, Monday through Saturday, and 9 to 4 on Sunday. Betts Fishing Center, Starkey Road, just a half-mile south of Homerton in Largo.
The Palm Pavilion on Clearwater Beach is back and better than ever. Beautiful sunsets on sparkling Clearwater Beach, relaxing times with a wide variety of menu items, from sandwiches, seafood, landlubbers' favorites, desserts, and your favorite alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks is what you'll find at the Palm Pavilion. Located at 10 Bay Esplanade on Clearwater Beach, they're saying of there's no place like this place anyplace else, so this must be the place truly applies. Come and enjoy a relaxing lunch, dinner, or drinks at one of Tampa Bay's gyms that visitors from all over the world make a destination. The Palm Pavilion, 10 Bay Esplanade, right on Clearwater Beach. Visit them and check out their menu on the web at palmpavilion.com. That's palmpavilion.com. Your number one home team fans, Auto Owners Insurance and Vermost Insurance Agency is a winning combination. We'll work with you to ensure your home, auto, business, and life to keep everything you value safe, sound, and secure. Auto Owners Insurance, the no-problem people. Visit the Vermost Insurance Agency in Tampa Bay today at vermost.com. That's vermost.com. Did you know that Cambridge Christian School Athletic Department was honored with the Kerry McDonald Award as the 2A Athletic Program of the Year for the second consecutive year? The CCS Lancers have had 71 district championships, 21 regional championships, 5 state championships, and 37 Final Four teams. Over 200 of our student athletes have signed to play at the college level, and one has joined an NFL team. Visit us today at ccslancers.com.
Time for more of the home team. Here again are Paul Porter and Jason Alessi.
And welcome back to the home team. Jason Alessi here and Marshall O'Shields. I want to mention we have David Alexander and also Joe joining us on Facebook Live. Thank you for joining in. If you would like to enter in your contest prediction for the Bucs-Lions game Monday night, please do so on Facebook, and we'll write them down.
So we're watching on ESPN here on game day that James Franklin is actually going to be on game day here coming up. And we were just talking during the break about, is it not a great world when you can get fired by a team? You were 3-0 and number 2 in the country. You lose 3 in a row, get fired, get paid $49 million, and now you're on game day the next Saturday.
Well, it's great for some. I mean, a lot of people, bust their rear end working multiple jobs. Can't make that much to get by.
But is it crazy?
And the guy gets fired for $50 million. Wow.
And he's going to get hired by another school that's going to pay him more money if he wants to.
Well, yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that. And then going back to the Alex Golesh thing, obviously as a USF fan, I certainly hope Golesh chooses to stay. We don't know what's going to happen.
How much money is Alessi Bakery going to kick into that? So just curious to keep him here. Are you going to get a fund going, a GoFundMe to keep him here?
Give him a
little dough, right?
Lifetime supply of cannolis if he wants.
Give him some extra dough, maybe.
Yeah. Make whatever he wants. I know the Cuban bread, but we'll think about that. But listen, I mean, putting that aside, we'll see. He's doing a great job right now. They're 5-1. I hope. Obviously, you don't want to look ahead for FAU, but that game next week against Memphis, that could be the season-defining game. Memphis is undefeated and ranked. You beat them.
Yep.
Then,
and you're going on the road.
You can really start legitimately talking about being a playoff contender.
Yep, as long as you don't trip up, just keep it going. Yeah. But I like his focus. I like the team. I like their talent level. Well, so I don't think there's any reason they should keep them out. But
it's interesting to think.
I'm a Florida State fan, so don't talk to me about keeping out from the playoffs. So.
Well, Florida State might look at Golesh. That might be a place that then again, because you look at the whole Willie Taggart situation. Do you want another USF coach?
I know. Well, thank you.
After that went anyway, but a lot of games getting ready to start there, and of course we're talking about the Bucs. And let me bring this up too. I know real quick the Monday night doubleheaders. Now, I was kind of perplexed at why they kept doing this until I looked it up, and the NFL didn't make a deal, a broadcast deal. They granted ESPN and ABC, the affiliate, the right to 23 games per season, which was up from the previous 17. And so now, of course, with the NFL, you only have 18 weeks. They're trying to get all of these games on, ESPN, ABC. So that's why they're doing these doubleheaders.
Yeah, but that's their only night. They don't have games. That's what I'm saying. They don't have games.
That's why they're doing
nights.
it. But I'm just telling you, from a fan's perspective, I don't like it. I don't like. And I also I brought this point up with Paul last week briefly, the oversaturation of football now. When it used to be Saturdays were for college, Sundays were for NFL, and then usually one Monday night game for the NFL. College football also had Thursday night games going back to many, many years. But now the fact that we've got an NFL Thursday night game every Thursday night, you got games on Friday night, like last night's Miami Louisville game, and I'm wondering, is that too much, or do you like it? Or do you prefer
I
it?
think you're going to be in the minority because, especially with the NFL, everybody's going to say, "Give me more, give me more, give me more." I don't mind the two Monday night things as long as they're not constantly at the same time, like they did a couple weeks ago, where they were on two different networks and you had to flip back and forth because you're in the meat of both games.
Well,
I like the 7 o'clock and then the 10 o'clock that's going to happen this week.
But the problem with that is, the 10 o'clock game. Who's going to be able to stay up and watch it?
The West Coast, who never gets to watch any games because the other game starts at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's a game. That's Seattle and Houston. That could be a very intriguing game. But people, especially those who have to get up to work the next day, or kids who have to go to school, they're not going to be able to stay up and watch that.
No, I agree. But the bottom line is, every now and then you got to do something for the rest of the country too. Everything in the world can't run off of East Coast time. I know. I saw a sign at the Oregon tailgate last week on game day that said, "I hate East Coast time," because they were out there at like 4 a.m. for game day.
I know. Well, the other thing, I remember when I first started getting into football, usually Monday night started at 9.
Right.
Then
and
it
that was too late then. It got crazy because you're 1 o'clock in the morning, the games are ending.
Yeah. I don't know. I just, to me, the Monday night game, that's a game that the two teams, that should be all to themselves. That's the spotlight game. And, I kind of figured that should just be one game, but this again has to do with the contract and the money going in. So
I definitely like the whole pageantry of Monday night back in the day, but that's to me, that's kind of gone now. I just don't think it's the same. It's not the same announcers. It's not the same pageantry. It's different, but I have to say, you give me an extra game on a Monday, and I'll say the one thing I'll throw out to you is, what if the one game is awful? Okay, so now you at least got another game that you could possibly, go watch and be more. Because there was a lot of times when you're watching a crummy Monday night game going, man.
I also remember they done away for last several seasons having a Monday night game the final week of the NFL season, because that often would happen. That game, usually the final week, was initially scheduled with two teams you expected to be good. Well, one of the two teams had a rotten season.
And now they do the flex, which really helps out some of that too. I really like that a lot.
That's the way you finish the Monday night game. So that's why they changed that. Jelly
he missed wide left, but he got the distance.
He did.
He had the distance. I don't think Herbstreit has fingers left, but
no, that's their field goal contest on the game day. We just watched that. Yeah, Jelly Roll can sing better than he kick. That's for sure. But anyway, hey, let's get our scores in right now for the game Monday. Matt, how about we'll start with you?
Give me Detroit 30-27.
Detroit 30-27 at halftime.
14-0 Lions.
14-0 Lions at the half. Okay. Marshall, what say you?
I'm also going to take Detroit. I think that they're still a different team at home than they are on the road. Mm-hmm. I think they come out with the home crowd and jump on the Bucs a little bit early. The Bucs are still banged up. I don't like their secondary at all in this game. I think Goff could have a very, very big game. And I'm going to say the Lions win 38-20.
Let's say 38-20. Oh, man, blowout. Don't like that. What do you think at halftime?
We'll go 21-3.
Let's go 21-3. At the half. Well, I'm going to stick with the home team here. I'm going to go with the Bucs winning. Let's say, let's do 27-23. My pen is about dying here, but anyway, I'm gonna write that, and I'll say the Bucks up at halftime, 17-13. So we'll have that. So I'm gonna pick with the.
Sounds good. Always makes
here.
it a little more interesting when I watch these games and look at everybody's scores and everything.
Look
the
at
way
these
you root
scores is
for it.
pretty much split down the middle. Bucks in Detroit. But anyway, it was a great show. There's a lot going on right now, Marshall. Thank you for being in. We're gonna be back. Paul will be back next week. Matt, thank you so much. Great show. We're gonna see what happens. A lot of college football. Lightning. Hope Lightning can turn it back around tonight against Columbus, and Bucks. Go Bucks Monday night against Detroit.
Go Bulls.
Go Bulls too. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. FAU later on. We'll be back next week on the Father and Son Windows and Doors Home Team on the Tan Talk Radio Network, AM 1340, AM 1350, FM 106.1 and 102.3, and Facebook
Live.